Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is DEESETURUMANE and I make videos about motherhood, lifestyle and fitness. Today's video is a little update about how my sabbatical from alcohol is going and what is the plan to move forward. I have learned so much in the 3 months that I stopped drinking, so let's get into the video. So during my time not drinking alcohol, I actually learned a word that describes what my relationship with alcohol was, and that is mommy wine culture. And I learned this word from seeing a post from Happy as a Mother. I think her name is Erica on Instagram, and I saw this by chance and I decided to read her caption to try to understand what is mommy wine culture. And to my shock, I learned that I was subscribing to mommy wine culture. And mommy wine culture is basically the fact that society is accepting and even encouraging moms to deal with the struggles of parenthood through alcohol, particularly wine and cocktails. And that's exactly what I was doing. At the end of every single day, after dealing with a toddler that is super busy, super vocal, expressive, boisterous, I would sit back on my couch and be like, what a long hard day. I need a glass of wine to deal with this. And it just became this thing that I just did every day. Initially, I was only drinking on weekends, which was like fine. I could still, it was fine. But then it became every day I'd have a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine. And you guys, when I say that I'm a lightweight, I mean like 1 glass of wine and I am bouncing off the walls, okay? So 2 glasses of wine is like party time, bring on the club. Like I'm ready to hit the club after 2 glasses of wine. So it's like I was like, oh my gosh, help me, somebody help me numb the pain and the struggles that I had been through throughout my day being with my toddler. And while I may laugh about it, I'm laughing about it because it's funny right now when I think back on how difficult that stage was. But the way in which I was coping, or the way in which I was trying to cope, was definitely not healthy. It was not serving me. Like I mentioned in the first video, I would wake up with this slight dull hangover and it felt like a dark cloud was hanging over my head. But then, like, make it make sense. How did I think that I was going to keep up with my boisterous, energetic, talkative toddler when I'm starting my day off feeling like there's a dark cloud hanging over my head? And so it brings me to, yes, while mommy culture is celebrated, and even, things like mom juice, talking about wine, calling wine mom juice, haha, it's funny, you need your mom juice to survive. It's actually not funny, let's be honest, because I feel like particularly South Africans also, because we have a terrible relationship with alcohol. Just check your friends when the president says that he's closing the bottle stores, all right? We are telling moms that yes, here's a substance, an addictive substance, to solve the issues that you are having with motherhood. And looking back on it now, sitting here 3 months after I decided to take a break from alcohol and have a look or revisit my relationship with alcohol, I am like, okay, cool. I definitely wasn't suffering from alcoholism. I wasn't suffering from binge drinking. I wasn't exhibiting binge drinking behavior. But what I was exhibiting was alcohol dependency. I was depending on alcohol to numb the pain that I was having of dealing with a growing toddler, to cope with the stress of being a parent and being the primary caregiver and having my name, Mama, shouted throughout the day. So I was depending on an addictive substance to deal with my issues, which can create a snowball effect, okay? Alcoholism is different from alcohol dependency, in that when you're an alcoholic, it's an addiction. You are in the addicted state. Like, you literally cannot control your relationship. You don't actually have a choice. of whether you're drinking or not. But if you're dependent on alcohol, you still do have a choice. You can still sit back and ask yourself, is this serving me? Which is what I did. And I'm grateful for D back then to have brought me to D right now. And so being grateful for D back then, 3 months ago, D, to have brought me here where I've not had a sip of alcohol, it's just like, good job. Okay, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. And because, you know, I do have a predisposition to alcoholism, which runs in my family. So if I'm not sitting down and having a word with myself, I'm going to end up there, okay? Which is something I want no part of. Like, I do not claim the negative energy. I do not claim that negative energy of alcoholism. So I'm so glad that I did what I did and just revisited and even learned something new. That, girl, you are actually subscribing to mommy wine culture without knowing it. You're becoming a wine mom. And I think that it's easy for moms to become wine moms, because when you become a mom, sometimes you, especially recently in the past 18 months with the panoramic going on, you become isolated because you've got a child to look after. This whole tiny human is actually dependent on only you physically for survival, you know. So it isolates you, and so you tend to gather around with other moms and talk about the hardships of motherhood over a glass of wine, and it becomes the norm, you know. Just, it's what we do. We talk about the hardships of motherhood. We complain about our partners and the lack of support we're getting from them, or the lack of support we're getting from our in-laws or our family of origin. And then it just becomes a thing that every weekend you gather with your mom friends and there's the mommy wine club. So while I took a break from alcohol, I just looked at my life holistically in all the areas of it and how it's functioning. Do I like how it's looking? Do I like how it's working? What can be changed? What can we get rid of? What do we like? What is here to stay? And I'm gonna run you through a list of things that have been working, or things that I got into during my alcohol sabbatical. Starting with number 1, I picked up a book. Ooh, okay, if you watched my Marie Forleo book review, I read Marie Forleo's Everything is Figure Outable. And mind you, when I read this book, actually now that I think about it, while I was reading this book, I didn't realize that I'm basically using the things that she is suggesting to do in terms of like revisiting my relationship with alcohol. Just dissect things, look at them, dissect it, and look at, is it working? No, do away with this part, do away with that part. So I got into reading. I read Marie Forleo's Everything is Figure Outable. I'm still currently reading Think and Grow Rich. It's taken me a while because I feel like it's very long-winded, but I'm going to do a book review on that when I'm done. And yeah, it's just a nice way for me to begin my day, because what I do is I start my day by reading a devotional, journaling my thoughts, and reading the book that I'm reading. So instead of me rolling out of bed with a dark cloud / hangover, mild hangover, I'm starting my day by reading a book, journaling, reading the Bible. The second thing that I got back into, I mentioned journaling. You guys, I recently got an email from my therapist, and I thought that it was an email just directed at me, and I got scared. I don't know why I get scared, because I don't ever get scared if I'm sitting and talking to her. But if I get an email, it's like a bit official, a bit formal, and I'm like, oh, is she dumping me? Is she dumping me as her client? No, she's not dumping me as her client. She was just sending sort of like a general mailing list email. But that email was so helpful in that it spoke about therapy as a lifelong commitment, and it doesn't necessarily have to look like you sitting with somebody and chatting through things, because some people don't have access to that. It is expensive. And journaling is one of the therapy tools that I have realized are really helpful in brain dumping. If I see my thoughts on a piece of paper, it just sort of makes sense, you know. So that's something that I'm, you know, it goes with the reading as well. I think that I can do better, but I'm glad that I've gotten back into it. Number 3, I'm not going to talk about this in detail because I don't really know, but anyways, number 3 is reading the Bible. I mentioned this in the vlog that where I was crying. I'm on the Bible app. I don't actually have a physical tangible Bible. I just find it easier to read it on the app, and the app is great because there are different plans that last, like some last a week. The one that I'm currently doing is actually 100 days, and that's a huge commitment for me. So I think this goes with the journaling. There's so many great journaling prompts in the devotionals that I read. One of them, which is the one that made me cry, or the one that got me to tears, was, what are you waiting on God for? Open the floodgates. Okay, so that's one thing that I'm getting into, and I'm sort of just revisiting my spiritual life in general and looking at, what are my beliefs, what do I believe, what would I like to, you know, instill in my child, what beliefs would I like to share with my child. And that's been a huge one for not just me, but me and Simpiwe and Zion actually. But I think maybe that can be saved, or that conversation can be saved for a later video. I don't want to talk too much about it because I might be giving away people's plans. I don't want to say this is something that I've gotten into, somewhat is, but it's something that has definitely improved since I stopped drinking. It is my productivity levels. Okay, if you are a OG subscriber, or if you are following along with my uploads, you will notice that girl is, I'm dead serious about this channel. Like dead serious. No playing games. I'm here to give you guys valuable content, and I've got my upload days structured. I am not going to, you know, deviate from them. I don't want to unnecessarily skip days that I would upload a video, you know, unless it's really something that is out of my control. I've just committed to taking this channel seriously. It's not a hobby. It brings money in. Let's be honest, it does bring money in, which translates to putting food on the table for my family. And so me taking it seriously is taking you guys seriously, taking the fact that there are people that wait to hear what I have to say seriously. I don't want to disappoint you, and I don't want to disappoint myself. So this is something I'm taking seriously, and I've increased my uploads from, initially it was 3 and now it is 4. Like, okay, I've got an upload schedule. Tuesdays is toddler activity, Wednesdays is a mom vlog, Thursdays is a sit down chit chat, Saturday is Saturday Space Session. I mean, like, I'm so proud of myself for doing that. Like, just wow, and it just snowballs. It creates the snowball effect on the rest of my life, like different areas of my life. Other than uploading 4 times a week, I launched my Patreon. I did the first live workout on Patreon last weekend. There will be another one this weekend, by the way. You can find the link and join my Patreon in the description box. I launched a Patreon, did a live workout. I did a launch week for my Patreon, which actually, guys, launching something is actually so much work. It demands so much energy, and I understand why people say you need to keep your vibes high when you're launching something. I was going live on Instagram 4 times a week during the launch of my Patreon. I signed new clients. Like, just, I'm so happy, okay. Want to encourage you as well to just revisit your relationship with alcohol. And yeah, that brings me to basically the conclusion of this video, and I want to leave you guys with saying that you do not have to hit rock bottom because of alcohol before you revisit your relationship with alcohol. I'm going to say that again. You do not have to hit rock bottom because of alcohol before you revisit your relationship with alcohol. I'm saying this because it's not like something hectic happened to me. It's not like I went and drank a whole lot, got super drunk, and made a fool out of myself, and then I have to sit and think, is this serving me? Or it's not like I'm drinking, made a fool out of myself every weekend, and now I have to think about my life. No, it's like, girl, I noticed that you drinking every night, a glass, maximum 2. You wake up feeling groggy, you wake up grumpy, you can't keep up with your child, you can't keep up with your work. Like, is this helping? Is this serving you? No. And so moving forward, I honestly don't know if I'm gonna go back to drinking alcohol. If I do, I don't know what that's gonna look like. It's definitely not gonna look like every day, you know. I think I want to say it will be reserved for special occasions, but what are those special occasions? I don't know. But for now, I think I'm just going to continue just not consuming alcohol until the day that I feel like, you know what, I think I can do with it. But I don't know. I think the penny will drop when it drops, you know, the same way the penny dropped for me to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I think that my life's good right now. My life is really good, and I'm happy and I'm proud of myself. So yeah, that's it. I hope this inspires you, and there's zero judgment from me about if you're a wine mom, do you, but this is just from my perspective, my experience, and what I'm doing with the information that was gathered around mommy wine culture. So yeah, please do give this video a thumbs up and share it with a mom friend that could find this useful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.